This is the first time I've blindfolded myself, so it was a very different experience for me. And staying blindfolded for so long is quite difficult because me as a person, I'm actually scared of being in the dark. So closing my eyes actually made me, come out of my comfort zone and think about how a how a blind person would uh, be, experience things in real life. So yeah, I'm a person who's scared of dark, so I wouldn't. This exercise was not relatively easy for me. It was quite difficult, and staying for so long was kind of scary. But also, I think the fear is kind of subsided now. Like even I had to like figure out the space, like how much space is there and all. And also, well, I came near the dining table, so where I walked through the living room. So, like on the other side of the wall, there is actually two rooms, which is mine and my grandparents' room. So I didn't know where, even in the video, I was shouting to my mom and saying, how much gap is there? How long is it? Why am I taking so long to reach the dining table? I mean, like a normal person, I could never figure out that the distance is very much. I could never acknowledge it, but generally, when I'm walking through this activity, I found out that it is quite long. For me, when I was taking a shower and closing my eyes, like the bathroom that I use is pretty small, so everything around I could like easily find out. Okay, towards my right there is the soap box, and towards my left there is the tap and all that. So I could, because it's also about the length of the bathroom. Imagine if the bathroom was much wider, then I would have to turn around and find things. But since the bathroom was relatively like compact, I could find things easily. So that's another thing that I noticed about my bathroom.
Yeah, but that also was possible because you know that towards your right there's this shelf where you'll
Yeah,
get your soap and everything.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
that's
because
also.
mostly you take shower, your eyes are closed basically when you take shower. So you
yeah.
actually have an idea where you put, like it's a regular place to put a soap, shampoo, everything. So
Mhm.
yeah.
When I was a child, I used to play the pakadam pakadai, we call it, right? So we used to like blindfold the person who's supposed to find
Huh,
other
huh,
people,
huh.
and that's the kind of blindfold experience I've had. But that was like in my cousin's place and all, not in this house. But then, like when I was blindfolded, like for this activity, one thing that I felt was I kind of knew the place like I was able to locate all the places of my houses. So it's like, if I'm going through my drawing room, I know that there's dining room here, I know there's my room. Like I was able to navigate through the, what do we say, through each rooms and everything, although I was blind, because I know this place, like it's a very familiar place to me. When I was blindfolded, and then when I was walking through my drawing room, my leg got hit by the sofa's corner. So even if I knew like how to navigate through the rooms, I wasn't able to figure out what's the exact space between things. Like there's a sofa and then there's an aquarium. So I had to walk in between both of those, and then I'll.
Yeah, same. Even I had to like when I came into my living room to switch on the light. Like my mom asked me to switch on the light, so I had to like enter the living room. But I mean, when I entered it through the space, like the little space that is there between the two sofas. And in the video also, you can see that there is a center table, and there is. I was very scared if I'd be hit by the center table and the legs of it. So I had to like clearly like put my hands all over the objects and all that to like the furniture to move
Yeah.
around, and then I found the switchboard and I had to switch on the light.
Also, in like in one of my like while doing the activity, I was walking, like there's a passage in my house, so I was walking, and then it's like pretty big, like pretty big passage, so I didn't use the walls to navigate through. So I was walking, and then I suddenly got hit by the wall, and that's when I noticed that I wasn't walking in a straight line, I was walking in like a what do we say, in,
Crisscross or something.
yeah, in kind of like a slanted way. I was walking, and then when I got hit by the wall, I figured that okay, I was not walking straight. So that also happens sometimes.
After being blindfolded for 6 hours, I experienced a lot of things which I cannot experience while my eyes are open. When it was the time to take shower, I first took clothes randomly from my cupboard, and then by skipping obstacles like wires, I found out that my towel was in another room. So like the room in which the towel was, the door is in the middle of the wall of room and has an enclosed space behind it. And when I was returning, I went into that space. So even I knew there is a dead end, but when I am blindfolded, the time and the distance, that sense got lost. When I was in the kitchen space and I was using the kitchen shelf to get the sense of space, there was a fear of touching hot utensils. And while cleaning that kitchen space, I have to first create a map of the area to be cleaned in my mind. Then only I was able to maneuver there and sweep the floor properly. So for me, when I was blindfolded, the thing which helped me to move around the house was the walls. If there is no wall, I will be lost. Even when the gallery part came, there was no wall to take support of. I lost. I didn't know where to go. Like I was clueless about the direction. In my case, when I was working blindfolded, I accidentally hit the matka I used to keep at the floor level, and I was like so sure about the place that I will not hit. But if you are blindfolded, you can't even have a little like
Yes,
so you
yes,
have a little amount of sense about your surroundings, but not that much. If you are blindfolded, you can imagine you have a sense, but you become senseless.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
same happened with me also. There was this plant pot kept. I was like, there's a lot of space to move, and I just moved it around like that. And then that's not like really something I am like very, no, I don't notice that plant pot and everything. So that minute things that are there in a house which we don't notice, while blindfolding we are not able to navigate it.
Yeah, they're actually like obstacles, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, you obviously like sometimes if you a few people trip over it also. It's not even like,
Yeah.
yeah, like some of them get hurt, but most of them, if they don't use the stick and, like navigate it or like point out to it, you obviously end up tripping over it. So that's another thing.
Also, like the
Yeah.
wires, the carpets, everything, these are obstacle for a blind person.
Yeah, you
Also,
had
like if,
wires, like the
yeah,
computer wires and all that.
yeah. Also, like if there is a partition, if you see there is a tile, one tile, and like in the bathroom, there is a mostly in most bathroom there's a tile gap. As there is a level of a tile. That is also an obstacle. A person can trip over that also.
Yeah,
Also, like I blindfoldedly ate food. So that was also another experience because you know where your mouth is, but you don't know where the food is. That is a different kind of
you end up
experience.
eating curd with dal
Yeah,
and roti with the dal or roti with something.
yeah,
So yeah,
That's also,
you
you don't
don't.
know what you're eating.
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
mix match the food. So
Yeah, so for me, like you told, na, like we use our hands to navigate through. For me, like when I was doing that, my hand also got hurt. Like by I have a aluminium windows, so my hand got hurt by the corner of this aluminium window. So I noticed that even it's not just our legs that get hurt, but at times our hands also might get hurt if there's like sharp things around.
yeah, even if a blind person is using his or her stick, in that case also sometimes you're actually hurting yourself. Like even though the distance of the stick is pretty long, like if you're moving sideways or something, you actually have chances of getting hurt. So
Also,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
stick will find the obstacle at the ground level, not the level of your head or
yeah,
shoulder.
yeah, yes. Yeah, so the chances of getting hurt are much more. But maybe we didn't get like we didn't face instances where we got hurt, like not many of the instances, because we actually know, like we're familiar with the house and the spaces and all that. So yeah, but if anybody else, like your relatives or your friends or somebody happens to visit your house, then they wouldn't have the idea that like
Yeah.
there is an obstacle or something. You'll have to be guided. Like my mom also in the video where like I was trying to take a glass, so my mom was kind of guiding me that it's on the left, it's on the right, just move a little more and something like that. So you actually require that guidance, even if they are accessing some place like of our house, you still have to tell them and guide them. So yeah.
Yeah, and then for me, one of the instance was I was just lying down on my bed, and then when I got up, so we wear slippers in our house, like inside our house also. So uh, I was like it was kind of hard to find my slippers where it was. So I again had to use my hands to like find where the slippers are, and even if I found them, I wore the wrong pair. Like I wore the right, yeah, I wore
Yeah.
the right slipper on my left leg and the left slipper on my right leg. So again I had to use my hand and figure out which is the right one, and then I had to use it. Yeah, so for my blindfold activity, the thing which was very new to me was using the accessibility feature in our phone. So most of our smartphones have that feature where you can, turn your speak back. Yeah, the option was talk back or something like that. So when you turn that option on, whenever you click any button or any option that's there in your phone, that actually speaks back. Like
To go home, swipe up from the bottom of your screen with two fingers. System actions. To go to your recent apps, swipe up from the bottom of your
I tried using that what do we say option which we have in our smartphone, but it was still very hard for me to navigate through my phone and switch all the apps, because usually while we scroll it like this, like in one swipe. But using that feature, when you scroll, you have to use your two fingers to scroll, and even if you want to select an option, you have to like double tap it.
Pin from the retro palette. Title: Gouache Landscape, Gouache Fluffy Clouds. Column 2, in grid, 19 rows, 2 columns. Double tap to activate.
I also tried typing.
C. C. E. E. Delete. E deleted.
I was able to kind of type it because we know, like where the letters are. That's why I was able to kind of type it, but then it was really hard. That feature was really hard to like operate and everything.
Yeah, maybe it could be because like maybe like if like if blind people actually get to use smartphones, maybe
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
trained for it, like they begin using it and that's the way they use it. For us, because we're very used to using the normal way of the phone, we
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
find it different. Yeah.
Like not just a blind person, if we also start using our mobile that way, then we'll obviously get used to that.
So for this activity, I've used the office chair that I have at home, and I adjusted the height and I adjusted it to like 44 centimeters from the ground level, the height of the seat. And while I used it, I made sure I placed my legs on the wheels for support. And because like subconsciously I can, if I'm tripping or something, if I'm feeling scared, then I usually place my leg to and I use it to move around. So and I could open my doors easily, and I could also, like in the video, I can access my kitchen platform. I could take water, and then I can move around also in my house easily. And for moving around, because I couldn't use my legs, I had to use whatever furniture or walls or doors were there around, like for support, so that I could move around. And it was pretty easy only, wasn't like difficult also, because the path was also clear, like from my room to the kitchen. The path was pretty straight, so you can go around easily without having any obstacles in between. But if even if there was like there was one obstacle, which is the sofa, but that also acted like a support so that I could use the sofa to move around.
So, in my case, like the house in which I am living at the moment is not accessible completely for a wheelchair user. First thing, the bathroom doors are not that wide. A wheelchair can't even enter the bathroom, like not horizontally, vertically in any way. And the second thing is the balconies. They are not accessible because of the frame of the windows. There is like 3 inch from the floor in the height. So a wheelchair, a person can't actually on its own access the whole house. He or she needs support, assistance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same with the balcony part. Like you have a frame, but I have like a plinth. So the height of the room, the flooring is quite raised compared to the balcony tiles. So if you're actually moving from the room to the balcony, there is like this slight height. So while I was moving, I was almost scared if I'll trip over that, like the whole chair will trip over and I fall down. So those are, I think those are some of the obstacles that, if you want to go to the balcony and, relax over there, that'll be pretty difficult to move. Yeah.
For me, like my house is not at all accessible for a wheelchair user because it has like two steps in the entrance, and the same goes at every floor, and there are like no ramps or lifts or whatever. There's like a kind of a ramp between the parking area and like front lawn where you like enter to the building. So I kind of tried moving around using my wheelchair in that ramp sort of place, and like actually I was really scared while doing that, and I literally felt like I'll trip. My front lawn has like the checker tiles, okay, so the wheelchair which not the wheelchair, the chair which I used, it was kind of hard for me to move around in that chair in the checker tiles. I used a stick also to move around, but that wasn't helping me out. So I asked my uncle to help me move around, and when he helped me, I was actually able to move around in the checker tiles. So I guess the surface also plays a huge role in moving around in the wheelchair. My chair itself to access from the exterior to the interior of my house, so I obviously had to take help of my family members, and I got myself and my like the chair itself got shifted with the help of my family members itself. So after like entering inside the house, I kind of walked through my I mean I kind of moved through my drawing area, but again, the space between my center table and the sofa was very much less for a wheelchair user, so I actually had to move the center table a bit more, like I had to make space for my chair basically. And that goes the same with the sofa itself. I had to move my sofa also to make space for my chair, and then I was able to navigate through the whole drawing room. And then after like I tried closing one of my windows and everything, and I was able to do that because it's kind of like a the windows are placed kind of like the lower part of the wall, so it wasn't much of a trouble to close and open it while I was in my chair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about moving things. Even when I had to enter my kitchen, my mom found out that the kitchen was kind of very compact. So she had to like move. So there's like a fridge that is placed against the wall. So if when you enter itself on your right side, you actually have your. I actually have my fridge. So she had to actually move the fridge towards the right so that there is more space for me to easily move into the kitchen. So yeah, like if there are too many things in like in a space, you actually have to
Yeah.
adjust them according to how much space is allocated for the wheelchair user. So yeah. Okay, now that we discussed about these activities and our experiences, we made some observations while conducting the activity. But we really get to know what a disabled person faces in a real life. We'll understand more about how they access their spaces, and we'll understand more about accessibility.
Actually, we did those activities for like 5 or 6 hours, so there's like so little that we could experience, and they've been experiencing all those stuffs from god knows how many years. So there's a like lot more we have to take into account when we talk about accessibility of a disabled person.
Also, like if we talk about a person with any disability, we are imagining him or her through our eyes, through our lens, through our mind. We don't even know if they are facing this problem in the real life or what they are facing. This is our imagination, basically what we are thinking of them.